Here we go. The Senate this morning, Senate confirmation hearings for President-elect Trump's cabinet begin. Up first, arguably the most important position, Defense Secretary. Nominee Pete Hegseth front and center. In his opening statement obtained by Axios, we'll share it with you now. It is true, I don't have a similar biography to defense secretaries of the last 30 years. But, as President Trump also told me, we've repeatedly placed people atop the Pentagon with supposedly the right credentials, whether they are retired four-star generals, academics, or defense contract executives. And where has it gotten us? He believes, and I humbly agree, that it's time to give someone with dust on his boots the helm, a change agent. Though Democrats are expected to grill Pete, he's getting huge support from fellow veterans, including hundreds in D.C. today. They're there on their own volition, not because Pete asked them to, but he's obviously honored. Trump's senior advisor, Jason Miller, joins us today. Jason, what's Pete's greatest challenge today when he sits down for, 3 or 4 hours?
Well, I don't see it so much of a challenge. I think it's an opportunity to talk about restoring that warrior ethos, that warrior spirit back into the military. And this was a mandate that President Trump ran and won on and received 77 million votes, 312 electoral votes, and the majority of the popular vote. And the fact that we have to get our military focused back on defending this country. There was a study that came out, Brian, in July from the Commission on National Defense Strategy that said the United States is not prepared for a major conflict right now. That's what's happened over these last 4 years under Joe Biden. We have to get our military away from the woke nonsense, away from playing politics, and back to focused on defending our country and defending Americans.
So, Jason, I know for a fact how much great work you did behind the scenes with all the candidates and with President Trump and Vice President Vance when he was a nominee to get them ready for debates. So when they go after Pete personally, which has been all over the news, what's the best strategy?
Well, I think Pete Hegseth is going to kill him with kindness. You see Pete Hegseth, he's a very smart, very telegenic, very presentable leader. And this is someone who graduated from Princeton and from Harvard. This is someone who has served on the battlefield, who knows what it's like to be shot at, who's led troops in battle. This is the type of leader that we need to head the Department of Defense. We've tried all the so-called experts for years and for decades. Now we have someone who's actually been in the line of fire. And I think that's the type of perspective we had. Keep in mind, under President Trump, during those first 4 years, we had no new wars. And that was because we had deterrence, we had peace through strength. And with Pete Hegseth at the helm, we're going to get back to that.
And just lastly, real quick, do you admit in the past I haven't been perfect, like almost every one of you who are asking me these questions today? Or do you just ignore it, parry, and refocus?
Pete's going to be completely honest. He'll be upfront, and in his one-on-one meetings that he has had, he's really dazzled, I would say, most of the senators that he's met with, his grasp of the issues, his knowledge of the Department of Defense, his readiness to step in and lead. There's a reason, Brian, where right now, as of this moment, we have dozens of veterans, Gold Star family members, supporters of Pete's, who are camped outside of the Dirksen Senate office building, ready to support him in that committee meeting today. Additionally, we have dozens of veterans will be marching up from the Vietnam Memorial to support Pete as well. That's because people believe in Pete Hegseth. They believe in President Trump. Let's get the woke out of the military and get back to the warrior spirit.
And Jason, that's totally a surprise to Pete. He has nothing to do with organizing that, but he's truly honored. I know that firsthand. And lastly, when you look at the other nominees, you got 14 of 16. Almost everyone got dates. Who's the one you're most worried about, concerned with, or has got the most ground to make up in the hearings?
I'm not concerned about any of President Trump's nominees. These are all excellent choices, and I think that they're going to do very well when they get to their hearings. And of course, the Democrats are going to try to obstruct or try to come up with any possible delays that they can. But when you look at the pace that President Trump's picks are on right now, we're about 3 times ahead of the pace for having his nominees confirmed by the full Senate at the end of January. There are about 3 that were confirmed by the end of January in 2017. Will be about 9 or 10 by the end of January this year. And I think that's a testament to President Trump knowing exactly who he wanted to pick, what they stood for, and what his mandate is to bring change to this country.
Jason, great job. I know you get in the inner sanctum on all this, so your insight's great. Thank you, Jason Miller.
Hey, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.